head basketball coach of your West Virginia Mountaineers, Bob Huggins. Good evening to you, Hugs.
Good evening, Tony. How's it going on the north side?
Everything's good, Hugs. Everything is fine. I need to get down there. You know, you and I both need to get down there during the off season.
Well, we made that trip last year with the Silver Fox.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big hit.
Yeah, I haven't. Have you seen the Silver Fox since the season ended?
No, I have not, but I did speak to him this morning.
Okay. He probably was calling in and needed his information dosage, huh?
Yeah, I guess that was probably pretty accurate, yeah.
I was going to say, our call screener, you're getting a lot of respect because our call screener put up across the board on the computer monitor here, name, Robert Huggins. He gave you the full Robert. You don't often get that. I don't know if that makes you getting older or whatever that is, but Robert Huggins, I thought that was kind of neat.
Tony, I'm sure after this year I've been called worse. So.
All right, let's jump into it. Yesterday, the official announcement came out that 3 players were going to transfer. It came as no surprise that there was going to be some attrition during the course of this off season. Talk to us, if you would, Hugs, how these 3 and how this all came about.
Well, Tony, I really didn't. You know, I mean, obviously we talked after the Texas Tech game, and then we kind of came back here and we were getting ready to go to spring break, and so I thought, in my old age, I guess, that, you know, we just would all of us go our separate ways and not make emotional decisions. And so we did that. And I think, I think anybody who was around the program understood that probably somebody was going to leave because people want to play. And when you have guys, we had so many guys in the one class that you couldn't play all of them. So I think we all understood that somebody was going to leave.
Mm-hmm. And so among the 3, 2 not a shocker, not a surprise, and Aaron Brown and Voldemar Guerin. Jabari Hines, a little bit more of a surprise. What was your conversations with him? What's your take on that?
Really, honestly, we didn't have much of a conversation. I like Jabari very much. Jabari and I have I think, a very good relationship. But, you know, Tony, after a year like we had, I think if any of them don't have both feet in, they probably, they probably do need to move. You know, I think it's going to take a heck of a lot of work and commitment and everything to get this back to where we all want it to be.
Coach, I guess the next question is this the end of the attrition for this year? In your conversations with the other players, do you expect any more moves, or do you think this is the end of it?
No, I think this is the end of it. I think, you know, what I just said, I think everybody had an opportunity to kind of mull things over, to go home and spend time with their family, to talk to whomever it is that, they talk to. And so I think, I think it's done.
Hugs, is this a more difficult time now to go out and try and find some players to fill these spots, or are there guys that you've had your eyes on throughout the year that now you just work on closing them out?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, we didn't have any scholarships before.
But you were looking at players, though, right?
We were looking at underclassmen. Yeah, we were looking at underclassmen, and there were a couple guys that we continued to follow, because and again, I'd be lying if I told you that I didn't expect someone to transfer at the end of the year. Whichever one of those guys in that position got the least amount of playing time.
Mm-hmm. So with that being,
there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, people act like it's a terrible thing to transfer, but I think those same people were probably sitting in the stands cheering like crazy for Mike Gansey, for Dior Fisher. I transferred. I'm sitting in a Division I coaches meeting, and they're talking about transfers, and there was about 10 of us sitting together, and I think about half of us had been transfers.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a wonderful experience. I mean, and as you know, I'm pretty close to Mike Gansey, and I know what a wonderful experience Mike had.
Oh, there's no question.
You know, guys want to play. Guys that really love the game want to play. And so, I mean, I felt like whichever one of those guys did whatever, however it shook out, I had no idea who was going to play, you know, how much at the beginning of the year, but I felt like one of those guys was probably going to leave.
Right. We're talking with Mountaineer head basketball coach Bob Huggins. So, Huggs, you were one over scholarship-wise. Now you've got two to give. You expect to give both out during this spring period?
I don't know, Tony. Depends. I mean, we're not going to take people just to take them, obviously. And we really weren't won over. I mean, the whole plan, the whole discussion with Eric Murray and the people advising Eric Murray was that he was going to leave, you know, and enter the draft at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the plan when the season started. And I think as the season unfolded, I think Eric realized he had a lot to learn and certainly didn't have the kind of year that he and us and everybody else anticipated he would. So, you know, at the time, we really weren't over scholarships. I mean, that was agreed upon by both sides.
Mm-hmm.
That you know he would go ahead and enter the draft. As it turned out, it didn't work out that way.
Hugs, prioritize your needs with 1, 2 scholarships. You said you're not sure how many you're going to need, how many you're going to use. What do you think you still need in this class?
Well, you know, a lot was made that we couldn't score the ball or we couldn't shoot the ball or whatever. We had a freshman, I believe it was our third leading scorer, shoot 46% from three-point range in league play. 40 for the year. That's pretty good. Our leading scorer was the other freshman who shot 36% from three, which is pretty respectable. So I think we have two guys very capable of making shots. We didn't pass the ball. We didn't pass the ball very well. It's hard to shoot bad passes. I think we have to get some guys who are better passers, I think, for one. I think secondly, if you look, Wichita State went to the Final Four in what everybody considers upsets, and they scored less than 1 point per possession. Syracuse had a 1.0001 or whatever it was. I think in whatever it was, I forget how many possessions it was, but they scored one basket more. So we scored on the average of higher than both of those teams in their Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games to go to the Final Four, and we scored more than that per possession. What we didn't do was we didn't defend.
Mm-hmm.
We were probably the worst defensive team that I've coached, and that's on me. I need to do a better job getting guys to guard. We didn't rebound the ball. You know, we went from coming in here to being what was considered one of the worst rebounding teams in the Big East to the best rebounding team in the Big East. And we didn't rebound the ball either this year. That's on me. I've got to do a better job. I've got to do a better job of making sure that guys pursue the ball, do a better job of guys that hang on to the ball, getting guys that hang on to the ball. And, you know, Kevin Jones wasn't a big jumper, certainly had great hands, great length, and a tremendous desire to rebound the basketball. We've got to get back to that. And I think, you know, when we start guarding better, when we start rebounding the ball better, lots better then we're going to win again. And our offense will be better. You know, I think we all realize Kevin Jones got 19 a game and probably 6 of those off the offensive glass per game.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have anybody that we didn't have anybody average 2 points a game off the offensive glass. We've got to get better at that.
We're joined by WVU head basketball coach Bob Huggins. Hugs, this is probably an obvious question, but is your expectation now that the guys coming in next year will all play and contribute right away?
Well, we don't have anybody left on the front line. You know, we have Kevin Arene and Eric Murray, and so obviously those guys are going to have to play. We pretty much played 4 bigs every year. I think you have to pretty much until probably the NCAA tournament. You have to play 4 bigs. It seems to me that watching the games that they let you play a whole lot more in the NCAA tournament than they do during the year. There's less foul trouble than there is during the year. And so, you know, you end up playing 4 bigs, and we only have 2 left. But we knew that going in because we knew Dom was a senior and Dennis was a senior. So, yeah, I mean, those bigs are going to have to play. There's no way around that.
Yeah. All right, Hugs. Give me your Final Four. Who's going to win it?
Tony, I tell you who I would love to see win it. I'd love to see Syracuse win it because I'm a huge fan of Jim Boeheim. I think he is one of the great guys of all time, and your alma mater. And so the 2 people that I feel very dear to, I think both are pulling for Syracuse, and so I just want to lend my support to you and Coach Boeheim. Yeah,
I appreciate that. You know, I also transferred too. You know, I was transferred. That's true. I was only there 2 years, so I was transferred. I know. It's the same thing in play-by-play business. You don't feel you're getting the reps that you need, you got to move. You just got to move up.
Well, and yeah, I guess when you room with Sean McDonough, you're probably at that time, Tony. I think you far surpassed him to this point now, but I think probably at that time you probably said, "Wow, this guy's pretty good. I don't know if I can surpass him. I can't even be the best play-by-play guy in this suite."
Exactly. That's exactly true. Didn't work out that way. Yeah, it's a whole deal. Well, hey, listen, have a good time down there, and we're watching closely here, and we'll see if you're going to use your 1 or you're going to use 2 of those available grants in aid.
Sounds great.
All right, thanks, Hugs. Appreciate the time.
Okay. Take care, guys.
There he is, Mountaineer head coach Bob Huggins.